Cannons are back. So, War Thunder has received a brand new update a few days ago, and as always, we got more surface-to-air missile launchers, more tanks, more premium tanks for $70, very nice, more top-tier aircraft, which are almost indistinguishable from old top-tier aircraft, and of course, $80 top-tier premium jets. Is a single plane worth $80 when there is a major Steam sale going on? Well, you tell me. We got the long-awaited MiG-25, although it is an event plane that you have to grind for. We also got the fancy new hangars that display all available ordnance for a plane, which doesn't do anything, but hey, it's eye candy. And we even got the closed beta test for Infantry that's coming, soon? Question mark? However, none of that really matters compared to the by far the biggest change of this update. 6 months later, they have finally fixed the cannon damage in air battles. In case you're not aware, about 3 years ago, Gaijin has introduced the infamous real shatter mechanic into the game, which made all high explosive shells for aircraft insanely unreliable, and in a lot of cases straight up unusable. Not all cannons were affected, and they went back and forth with damage until 6 months ago they decided to completely dumpster all HE ammo with the release of the Leviathans update. Cannon gameplay turned into that one scene from Metal Gear Rising, Raiden representing cannon users, while Armstrong was American 50 cal planes. Oh, the 50 cals, I hate you so much. Cannons becoming worthless gave rise to the dreaded 50 caliber meta. You see, while bigger guns relied on HE shells to do damage, 50s fired armor-piercing incendiary rounds that were unaffected by real shatter. And they also just so happened to have amazing velocity, ballistics, and huge ammo reserves, something that most cannons just did not possess. So, they became by far the best gun in the game for all purposes, for any player, for any battle rating. Awesome. However, after 6 months of living in 50 caliber hell, I am so happy to tell you that cannon HE damage has finally been fixed. Well, mostly. We'll get to that. I am honestly not sure whether to be happy about the fact that they did it, or be mad that it took them this long to figure it out. You might think this is some elaborate rework that took them a while to develop, but it's actually extremely simple. With this fix, they essentially just increased the amount of fragments created by HE explosions. For 20mm cannons it was doubled, for 30mm it was multiplied by 8, and for calibers in between it was multiplied by 4. And yes, in actual gameplay cannons do work now, just like back in the good old days. If you are a relatively new player and you haven't experienced those good old days, I urge you, try air battles again. You will be surprised in a good way. This fix is so amazing because at long last, all nations are viable once again. When 50s were the only good guns, it only made sense to play the US and copy-pasted US planes in other nations. Germany? Nope, sorry, all the prop planes rely entirely on 20 and 30mm cannons that used to be super unreliable, even with those special Minengeschoss shells. UK? Nope. The main armament of most planes are the Hispano cannons, which not only rely on high explosive, but also have horrible belt compositions. USSR? Well, their planes do rely on cannons, but Schwacks were actually okay-ish even before the buff. The 23mm cannons were absolutely horrible though. Getting 5 hits in a row on a Sabre and doing no damage in your MiG-15 used to be a normal thing. Japan? Nope, cannons everywhere. Italy? Nope, their planes also use German cannons. But now all these nations are once again perfectly viable to play, as you aren't handicapping yourself by choosing them. Kind of. I said that the damage was mostly fixed, so let's get into that. Now, I haven't tried all the cannons yet, as I simply did not have the time, but some of them did not get improved as much as others. German and Soviet guns work flawlessly, but the British Hispanos can still be unreliable. They are better than before, but you do get no damage hits here and there. This might be due to the belt compositions, but I'm not sure. Japanese 30mm cannons though? Jesus Christ, it feels like they haven't changed at all. I was using the premium J2M5, which only has Type 5s for armament, and I kid you not, most of my hits did no damage to enemies. And this is why I tell you guys not to buy premiums in this game. While they are permanent, you never know when they will be nerfed into the ground, and that has certainly been the case with this J2M5. Still, outside of these unfortunate exceptions, cannon damage has been greatly improved across the board, and that makes playing the game a lot more enjoyable. Hitting enemies is hard in air battles, so the least those hits can do is reward you with good damage on target. Now, the 50 cals will obviously remain solid guns, since even if they don't hit as hard as current cannons, they are still extremely good otherwise, and can do a lot of work in the hands of both new and experienced players. Still, you have no idea how happy I am to be free of the 50 cal curse at last. To finally be able to use something that's not a 12.7 caliber machine gun. Burn in hell, Brownings. I don't want to see you ever again. That being said, I am a little bit concerned. See, currently there is a bug in War Thunder that makes missiles do little damage sometimes. And last time that happened, Gaijin somehow absolutely destroyed gun damage by fixing a very similar missile bug. And I sure hope that's not gonna happen again, as I don't think I can handle 6 more months of 50 cals. Okay, let's talk about the other new things. MiG-25, is it worth actually grinding for? Considering it's a 2-week grind during Christmas holidays, any reasonable person would say no. But we are War Thunder players after all. As it currently is in the game, it sits at 11.0 and is not only the fastest plane of that BR, but also the fastest plane in the entire game if you climb high enough. It also has extremely good missiles and radar for that battle rating, so seems good, right? Well, it also has no gun and is completely incapable of turning at any speed. This basically means that if you get this plane, you will be forced into a playstyle of camping in space and sometimes launching missiles at people. Not great, but I'm sure a lot of you are perfectly fine with that. Now here is a much bigger issue. Its engines are currently overperforming by a lot. I'm talking 4 to 8 tons of extra thrust at various speeds. This has been bug reported and accepted by Gaijin, although not yet implemented into the game. This means that this plane is at a risk of getting nerfed at any point in time Gaijin considers to be appropriate. So if you're planning on actually getting this plane, be careful, as you might get hit with a massive nerf right when you least expect it. If you want to make some Gaijin coins though, go for it. MiG-25 is iconic and very popular, so it makes perfect sense to sell it to some poor soul right before it gets nerfed. Here's something a lot more interesting to me personally, the new American Premium FR1 Fireball that sits at 4.3. It's a mixed propulsion plane, which means it has a regular piston engine in the front, but also a jet engine in the back. That's not what makes it interesting though. The plane itself is insanely broken for this BR, as it's very fast, climbs well, and most importantly, it turns well, which is uncommon for American planes. This thing isn't just a jack of all trades, it does everything exceptionally well. The only real downside is its armament. It only comes with 4 50 cals, which is okay, but definitely not great, especially considering how powerful the cannons have become. The Fireball is rank 3, so it is pretty cheap at 1600 Golden Eagles. I know you might already be considering buying it, as it is quite broken, but be careful. This plane is so good that it is likely to go up in BR. Consider if the risk is worth it. Oh right, I almost forgot, the Green Goblin. It looks very special, but the flight model is unfortunately very unresponsive. The turret coverage and bomb load are good though, so if you're into abominations, this one's for you. Tank players, I have not forgotten about you. Remember that feature they promised that allows you to spawn a random tank if you don't have anything left in your lineup? Well, they actually added it. So it sounds great on paper and it works as advertised, but here's the kicker. It gives you an unupgraded vehicle with stock shells. Good luck and have fun, as they say. Finally, let me touch on War Thunder Infantry. Gaijin has shown us the gameplay on the official channel and it is exactly what you would expect. If you've seen Enlisted, this is what War Thunder Infantry is, essentially. You control one soldier in a squad that follows you around and can be given orders, but do not think of them as squad mates. Those brain-dead AIs are just extra lives. If the one you are controlling dies, you instantly switch to whoever is left. The movement and shooting are your standard FPS affair, perhaps even too standard. It looked very bland and unremarkable, with lightning fast time to kill to compensate for effectively having 5 lives at your disposal. The only real highlights are the ability to spawn tanks and helicopters and being able to use FPV drones as infantry, although to be fair, even that isn't so unique anymore. What's puzzling to me is the lack of destruction in this mode. Like, they have all these tanks, helicopters, RPGs and drones, which would be perfect to reshape the map geometry, and yet it doesn't seem like the buildings and their interiors can be damaged. The performance seemed really bad on the official stream, and I kinda doubt that the War Thunder servers can handle tight infantry gameplay, but we shall see. My overall impression is it's bland and soulless. It feels like there has been absolutely zero passion or love behind this game mode, and it was made just because it was possible to make it. Like, they took Enlisted, put active matter mechanics into it, and that was good enough. I'm not sure if Gaijin realizes this, but that's a problem. You see, War Thunder is popular not only because it's free to play, but also because it has no competitors for its air gameplay and barely any competition for its tank gameplay. They hold a monopoly in that niche. Infantry though? Yeah, good luck competing against actual good military games like Battlefield, Squad or Arma. Those actually have a ton of effort put into them to stand out among the rest. But this War Thunder mode, it has nothing to offer. But hey, at least it's going to be free. Merry Christmas everyone, the War Thundering will continue next year. Until then, I hope you all have amazing holidays and stay away from predatory free-to-play games to spend quality time with your loved ones. I shall catch you in 2026. Farewell.